The reasons it is so important to have discernment and personal development as part of your path in life, and especially if you choose to be a magician and deal with dark magic, Lucifer, or any of the sorts. It is because you do not have time to waste, and your spirits don't have time to waste, and your ancestors don't have time to waste. They do not have time to waste helping you bail somebody out of jail if that person possibly, more than likely, you cannot confirm or deny, but you have some ideas as to whether or not they belong in jail for the things they've done. One of the goofiest things I've done with my magic is use magic to get somebody out of jail for something that they, I don't know that they allegedly did. And I can't say I know whether or not they did it. I can just tell you the possibility with this person is unlimited and leave it at that. But I had long gotten the red flags about this person. And for whatever reason, I take accountability for being delusional as well as ignorant and unknowing of certain things that I did not learn until I really, really decided to buckle down and learn people and learn the climate of what today was by observing things and experiencing them upfront for myself. And back then, I had this beautiful belief that magic could fix anything, and it can. But when you intermix it with the real world, as well as your belief system, you have to reckon that balance against the collective. And until you become more powerful than the collective of energy around you, like a 1v20 versus a 20v1, you're going to still have to balance out your energy, your desires, and your magic with what's available. This person was also magical. They had a very strong connection with a spirit that I had a strong connection to, as well as other spirits. That's how we were able to get this person out of jail because they were able to use that spirit to communicate with me. And the spirit was able to tap into my emotions and synchronize events that brought me to find out where this person was. And we hadn't spoken in a long time. In fact, I had told this person that I was letting them go out of my life and I wish them the best. So that's an example of how being in the wrong frequency could leave you open um, to doing things you don't need to do for people who are very aware of your energy and want to use it. I don't blame the spirit because I was completely in alignment with this person and wanted to believe whatever I wanted to believe and felt that this was like a magical pair up of some sorts and that if we could just overcome the struggle, things would be better. Lesson learned deeply. This person ended up being very verbally and mentally abusive, narcissistic, and magically manipulative. And when I say narcissistic, I'm just not saying I know I'm not a that. It's just we know what social media calls that, so call it that. And again, I take responsibility for giving that person the pass because this person claimed to have multiple forms of mental illness, including a personality and mood disorder. And they seem to really exhibit that. But I definitely would not have handled the situation the same if I were put back into it again. Like, I'm not that person anymore. And the point of me saying this is not to cast, blame on anything. I'm taking accountability. In fact, the more accountability I take for what I was available for and what I didn't know, the more nuanced and strategic I become in dealing with people and avoiding people who exhibit the energy I leaned up against. But it also showed me that I didn't need to waste my time, my energy, or my magic on someone who wasn't worth it. And I'll tell you that I was goofy for that. Additionally, I have done the same types of magic or different forms of magic and rituals for other people, often for free because I felt like I needed to have some intervention in their behavior, and that if I was given these gifts and these abilities, that it was my job to share them and to work through things. I have done generational curse work. I have done healing and forgiveness work. I have done physical healing and forgiveness work. I have done money work. I have done road openers. I have done love spells for other people's relationships. And you know what else I've realized? That's goofy as fuck too. If they're not willing to work on their shit, why should I? And I don't mean to curse liberally, but that's genuinely what it is. My life has become so much more peaceful because of the people I no longer talk to, because I'm no longer available for them. And on some level, they feel the same way about me too, and that's completely fine. I wish us both the best because the feeling is extremely mutual with no disrespect. We will happily leave each other alone for the rest of eternity ad infinitum. But having reclaimed my actual peace, having become grounded to what's more important, having taken the time to analyze what is and isn't for me as I shift and evolve, I realized that I was given my power for me. I've got to use it on myself first. And if I'm lacking or in scarcity or not getting the momentum that I want in any area of life, or I'm experiencing it as part of a lesson in the transformation, I do not have that energy to give to somebody who chooses to struggle and chooses not to believe in themselves, in magic, in change, in personal transformation, and all of the sacrifice that it takes to become the person you need to be to have what you want. We all look at Beyonce and we love her, but we ignore how hard she works. She is always working, and when she's not working, it's none of our business what she's doing unless you're there. But she has shown us her behind the scenes forever. She had to do everything herself with her family and the other members of DC until people were falling all over themselves, praying and manifesting and doing spells and busting their tail in real life and in their spiritual inner world to get aligned to work with her for real, for real. Do you think that Beyonce spends her time and her energy doing spells for people who don't deserve her, who don't value her, who don't respect her? I had a friend who was extremely magical. She's a very brilliant girl. Yet she would spend lots of time asking me questions and asking me to ask spirits questions that like I know were just like you just want to feel flattered and you just want to drain my energy. My life improved significantly once I let her nasty side run its course because she also had a nasty side, a mean streak to her. Like she would say like really messed up things and then in the form of, oh, what, the spirit said it. And what I noticed is when it was a specific spirit and it was something positive, she could say their name. But when she wanted to be cruel, she would say, oh, the spirit said it and try to act like it was a joke. And I just noticed, like, let me just fall back from her because she would also ask me to do a lot of my ritual work for her, but she rarely returns from me. And I was just so giving that, of course, she would take advantage of it. And in pulling back, like, I've observed a true shift in my energy, inner and outer. And I've also noticed how this person may occasionally try to send me a little bit of darkness or whatever. I just transmute it. live my life, and move on because I've learned to forgive. I've learned to see people for who they are. I've learned to have discernment in who deserves my time and my energy, and thus possibly an extension of my magical power and assistance. The other thing is this. You don't have to do spells for people once you get to a certain level of power. You could be so focused on improving your vibration that anything connected to you automatically improves as well. That's why they say when you heal yourself, you heal 7 generations forward and backward because you start to alchemize, understand, and refine the passage through which your ancestral legacy has been cultivated, and you start to see the beauty in it. Every family is going to have their trauma. Every person is going to have their crap and their cross to bear. But your presence alone can naturally improve the power of someone's life. And I'm not just saying this for women. This is for men too. You know, I have an amazing friend that has, and he's a man, has genuinely improved how I show up in the world just by being present. So I say that to say, if you're starting over, if you're experiencing a rebirth, if you are looking for a deep quantum shift in your life, really stop giving your energy to goofy people. Stop going to the Botanica, getting candles for people who will not work on their problems. Stop doing spells for people who will not work on their problems. Stop doing love magic for someone who is not loving themselves and doesn't see the love you bring to the table. If you're dealing with people who benefit you, who reciprocate, who invest in you, and who take care of you, certainly give them the spiritual blessing, but also give yourself the blessings first and observe how those blessings magically flow onto the right people around you. You're going to receive the reciprocity. It's going to happen naturally. You won't be able to stop yourself from receiving all that is coming to you when you have that level of focus. Once you sit still and really put your magic on yourself, you will see extreme changes. Last year, all of last year, I put the focus towards getting what I wanted, but I was in the wrong environment for I'd say the first quarter through like April. April to May, I was in like the wrong environment. It was toxic for me and I refused to see it. Um, it took a toll on me. Then I did a quantum shift and I entered a new environment and I was able to kind of stabilize myself a little bit, improve my health and become aware of certain things. And then I used the second half of the year to focus on self-love and road opening. I did a little work with the chakras, um, Reiki candles. I talked about it before. I'll get into that in another video. I don't want to get too off topic. But I put all of the energy as people were cutting me out of their lives and I was realizing it. I would actually contact them and say, hey, I noticed this isn't working and I'm going to let you go with love because this isn't working for me either. Like I've noticed that it's not working for you. I've already noticed the changes in you. I've already tried to see if there was something I could, whatever. I can't do anything about it. I see we're just drifting apart or that this is coming to an end. I wish you the best, and I'm telling you that this door is closed. Some people fought it. Oh, I'm still here for you, but you're not here for me if I'm telling you that you're not here for me. And other people, they kind of LOL'd, okay. their way out of it because they'd rather laugh than really have a conversation. I don't have time for avoidant people. I will not use my magic for avoidant people. I don't have time for people who dip in and out, and I will not use my magic for them as well. And by magic, I'm not just talking about spells. I'm talking about like presence at this point. When you get to a level of cultivating your bubble, that you understand the power of your presence. Some people naturally merge with your presence. Some people fight to be in your presence to take what they can get. And some people will naturally go in and out of your presence. You will feel the weight of the people that you need to let go of because their presence or the lack of their presence will feel like an uncomfortable weight, which means there's something heavy going on that you really don't have time to figure out anymore. That weight is blocking your blessings and your lightness of being and your joie de vivre, if I said that right, your joy of life and your je ne sais quoi. You need to let go of all of that and that person and those people and those situations and those environments so that you can get to where you're going effortlessly, easily, breezily, beautiful cover girl, all of that, because nobody has time anymore. The other thing is, and I've spoken about this in another video, is that when you try to do magic for other people and you're not taking stock of what it is they're doing for themselves, it will piss you off because you'll feel like you need to do more magic to fix their situation. And it might distract you from something you need to do. I've had family members that I've done magic for. These family members have had the benefits of having the magic done for them. And I've also given them candles and they've burned it. But when it came to making actual real world changes, it's worse than pulling teeth because nothing's getting pulled. It takes crisis, like real world crisis, for some of these family members to shift the way they think. I released the generational curse of having to live in survival mode or crisis mode in order to get it together. That is why I do magic and work alchemy and work on that personal transformation. Because before I did magic, I was about personal transformation and self-development and read all the books, including the dark psychology books, and still just decided to be who I was in the end. You can't work magic without getting your elbows working in the physical realm sometimes, especially when you're just starting, because there's things that are already knocking at your door, waiting to come in, but your physical world is at capacity with garbage. And after you clean out as much of your own garbage as you can, and you'll still find little things here and there, you'll also find that you have other people's garbage in your energetic house, in your energetic environment, and in your energetic field, in your mind, in your psyche, in your thoughts, in your subconscious that are blocking you from fully seeing what it is you deserve to have and what you claim to have. That's why it's important that once you start to identify your heart's desires, you go after them and do the work it takes to clear it and remove the people, places, and environments that will not support you having it. You can only find out what those are by not giving your energy and your magic to so many people. Because again, I did it, and look at me, bailing people out of jail who, like I said, I don't know what they did or didn't do, but the possibilities are unlimited. Or dealing with people who know that they have financial issues but won't work on them, who know that they need to be financially literate but won't work on it, who say, this is just who I am. I'm just a product of my environment. I am my parents' child who refuse to take the opportunity to improve what they can for themselves while they can and have the power. You should not be doing magic for people like that. whether it's friends, family members, or people that promised you forever or promised to be with you. People will tell you anything just to get through the conversation with you. You have to observe that person's actions. Those actions are the truth of where they are. If you're constantly doing a money spell for someone who's constantly making it because you're doing that spell for them and you're doing road openers for them, but they're not walking through the opportunities you're giving them and they're not getting off their butt to take advantage of what's being given so that they can feed themselves, you're wasting your energy. Stop giving away your money by doing money spells for them. That's your money and your blessing. You were giving that gift for you. So I guess if I were to close this out, I'd say you need magical discernment so that you're not goofy and you can learn to be selfish with your energy. Because being selfish with your energy is what's going to allow you to get your heart's desires. You deserve to have everything you want, and you do not deserve to waste your energy on time, things, people, or magic that doesn't serve you and your desires.